Hey there, friends. I'm Kahmeela, and this is Down to Watch, the podcast that asks the question, are you down to watch? In addition to reviewing films and TV and sometimes music, every so often I get a guest who is in the business, an actor, director, screenwriter, etc., and I call these eps Casting Call. And also, not by coincidence, I'm usually a fan of that person. My guest for this casting call is no different. Perhaps you know him from the CBS sitcom Mike and Molly, or maybe he's one half of your favorite on-screen couple, Stan and Ruby Hill from NBC's Good Girls, or you're an OG and know him as Howard, Theo Huxtable's friend from The Cosby Show. This episode is with Reno Wilson. This amazing human being offers up some general marriage advice, a quick education on Louis Armstrong, and just a lovely and interesting conversation all around. So without further ado, here is one of the steadiest working Black actors in Hollywood, and it's not for nothing. Reno Wilson.
That's what we are.
Chameleons.
Well, I gotta say, well, first of all, I get so many, I have a publicist. I do have a publicist.
Yes.
And I get so many people who are like, yeah, will you come? And I rarely, but something about you struck me. That article was really nice, that you took the time to write about me and to actually do some research. And
Well,
that was really like, I guess my ego was like, all right, well, that was
sure. Well, in that case,
no, that was really cool. And I was like, you do need some more information, though.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
First and foremost, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm really good. Yesterday we had a crazy random thunderstorm.
Oh, really?
Here in Los Angeles. Did you hear about this?
No.
Like 4:00 in the morning, it was straight lightning and thunder. Is a classic. I don't know if classic, but a classic summer storm. So that was fun. And my wife and I, we own a spin and yoga studio, which is all outdoors now because of the vid.
Mm.
So she had her mornings off yesterday, so that was nice.
Oh, that's nice. You guys got to enjoy a nice little thunderstorm together.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, as long as you don't have to be anywhere, like thunderstorms aren't so bad as long as it's not
I love a nice thunderstorm.
Yeah,
so.
it's like really hot in here in Pittsburgh right now. We're working with like over 85 to like 95 degrees. Like,
is it humid?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. It's hot as hell today too, but it's dry.
Yeah, like I don't mind a dry heat. Like the humidity is just kind of like, and of course my daughter is like all about, let's go outside. And I'm like, darling.
How old is your daughter?
She's 3.
Oh my God. So okay, that's the breeze. Just slammed the door in my office. My mother-in-law, I have 2 kids. My daughter is 20. She goes to UCSB. She's a D1 athlete. She's on the volleyball team.
Nice.
And my son, so I have 2 juniors, a junior in college. Well, now they're senior in college and a senior in high school. My son is 17 and he's in high school. He's a classical piano playing soccer player. But my mother-in-law was like the Hollywood nanny out here for 30 years.
Really?
I've met some of the most high-profile people that I know because my mother-in-law took care of their kids.
Oh, wow.
So she used to say the terrible T's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Any age starting with T.
Right. Yeah. And like, I think I've heard the 3s referred to as a 3-nager, which which is absolutely like where we're living right now. Like,
oh my God. And then the last 2 years has been all pandemic. So you guys got kind of pandemic babies.
Yeah, it's been rough, man. Like, because like, I was being super cautious, before she turned a year old, and like not really taking her a lot of places. But I was like, once she turns 1, game on, bro. We're gonna go
be out there.
Right. Yeah. And then her birthday is April. So she turned 1 April 2020. And so, yeah. So anyway, enough about me.
Did you find a pod?
A pod?
Or like a family?
Yeah, sort of, kind of. We have we have some close friends who live just a few blocks from us, and they have a little boy who's a year older than Kajia, and they just had a baby, and we also had like a couple other friends around, but it was mostly like Sean and Maddie that we were kind of piece like coming together with.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
unfortunately, my family lives in Atlanta, and so
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, like
Yeah, it's tough.
but yeah. So speaking of children, you sir
Yes.
got bitten by the acting bug at age 9,
Correct.
and
That is correct. Find that.
and what exactly was it that, like, first of all, okay, you were in a school play. Is
Mm-hmm.
that the story? How that goes? Tell me how that worked
Story.
out. Do you
That's the
remember
story.
do you remember what the play was?
Yeah, I come from a musical family.
Hmm.
So my dad died when I was 4 years old. My dad was a blues singer. He played piano and he had a blues band. And he died while performing on stage in Manhattan when I was 4 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And so he went out very bluesy.
Wow.
And I have 3 older sisters, and my mom was an opera singer. So some people say they're a preacher's kid. I'm an opera kid, and she was also a nurse. So in the early 50s, she was on her way to be a young ingenue in the opera world, which is very rare for a Black woman in the 50s. I mean, there was one, maybe. And then she met my dad, who was from Birmingham, and he was like, nah, we're going to raise this family. You can't be doing all that opera singing. And then she, got married and raised a family. And then when he passed away, she was stuck with 4 kids. And she raised us by herself, and then got back into opera singing in her probably late 40s.
Oh wow.
And then so when I was a kid, I traveled with her around like the tri-state area and different states. She was in all these different opera troupes. She sang in the Metropolitan Opera, and so I've seen many operas. I've fallen asleep in many an opera. And but so I just say that to say I have a very musical family. All my sisters sing. My sister did plays, and my first play I think was I was probably in the 2nd or 3rd grade, and oddly enough, the name of the play was The Glasses Man.
Interesting.
And we wrote the play ourselves, and I was the glasses man, and he spread rose-colored glasses to everybody in the world to obviously have a better perspective on life. And oddly enough, I think that's what I'm still doing.
Right on. Yeah. I think you are, because you, sir, you're one of the steadiest working Black actors out there in the business. Like from the moment I would say that you hit the ground running, like you moved to LA in like 93, and then the next year is after Cosby Show and all that, the next year was Fresh Prince, and then
you're right. And so you saw my post, right? I just posted my new series.
Like, so you got 2 coming out now, right?
Well, no, my pilot didn't get picked up. I shot a pilot, The Last Police. The Last Police. Unfortunately, because of all the different firings, all these studios they fire, and Fox, they got rid of all the executives at Fox. It was a Fox show, so it was a great pilot too, Kahmeela. It was me and Troy Katzer and Blue Hunt. Really, really sweet story. But anyway, that didn't get picked up, so this is another one.
And it was something that was kind of but it was like along the lines of like a sci-fi type thing, which I've read that you are a Trekkie, and like so.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know it wasn't that level of sci-fi, but
the Earth was being destroyed in 6 months by an asteroid. Kind of the same premise as what's the one that was on Netflix now? Don't Look Up.
Oh yeah.
Kind of literally the same premise. Like the asteroid is destroying the planet in 6 months. So I was really into that. Great character, and it was me and Blue Hunt as the leads. And this is Fatal Attraction.
Well, congrats.
Just announced today. Thank you, with Joshua Jackson and Amanda Pete.
Ooh, Joshua Jackson, really?
Lizzie Kaplan. Dope cast.
Yeah,
Writers are dope.
That's awesome.
Crazy, yeah. So
I'm excited.
Very fortunate.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah. So, right, because you've been very fortunate, but it's not for nothing. You obviously bring along some sort of talent and presence and charisma to each and every character that you inhabit. So
that's my wife and I, our phrase. It's not for nothing. if you got a body that's crazy, it's not for nothing.
Right.
You're doing the work, you're eating the food. If you got grades, that it's not for nothing. You're working hard, So our family motto is work hard, play hard. But you got it right. I did move to LA in '93. I did the Cosby Show in '89. So I went to SUNY. So after I went to the high school, I'm gonna give you the whole story. Right. So I went to the High School of Performing Arts, which became LaGuardia.
Okay.
I graduated with Jennifer Aniston and Carl Payne and Dondre Whitfield. We were all in the same class, and a plethora of others. I auditioned Marlon Wayans to get into the school, and he was in the same year as Omar Epps. And I could name drop forever with everybody who went to our high school. And then after that, I went to SUNY Purchase. And it was while I was at SUNY Purchase, and I was at Purchase with my boy Seth Gilliam. Seth is on The Walking Dead. He's Father Gabriel and others. That's like my brother. And so I was in SUNY. When I was at SUNY Purchase is when I got the audition for the Cosby Show.
Nice.
And I auditioned like 4 times, and I got it, and the rest is, as you know, is history.
Glorious, successful history.
It was a dubious way to enter the business.
Wait, because all right. So, but you never answered my question about what was it about the glasses man that solidified your choice in going into acting?
I don't know. I guess it was a natural thing for me to do. To be in plays, to be in Glee Club, and I don't ever remember making a choice to act. I'm sure that teacher probably just was like, "You got to play the glasses man. Clearly, you have to play the glasses man." And then I was in all of the leads in all of the plays from then on, and it was never. You hear the people say it chose me.
Right.
I don't know. It was, and I don't even know if it was all of that, Kahmeela. It was just, it's what I had always done. And I went to my junior high school in Brooklyn, which was kind of known for their performing arts program. And I did Barnum when I was 15 and was in the circus, the Big Apple Circus. Like the dudes who ran the program at Meyer Levin High School, junior high school in Brooklyn, Michael Perlman and Eddie Gentile were exceptional. It was an exceptional time in the early mid 80s, an incredible group of young Black kids in East Flatbush, Brooklyn that they shepherded. And they did all these amazing musicals, and it was all run by kids.
Oh, wow.
And I actually started shooting a documentary about what happened to all the kids in the year that I was in, like Lisa Arundel was in the shows with me in those years. And about 96%, a high 90% of the kids who were part of this performing arts program in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, all of them went on to do amazing things, not just in the performing arts, doctors, scientists, rocket scientists, attorneys, PhDs, and I interviewed them when I was in New York, and they all harkened back to this period of time. That's amazing. When we all did these shows. And so one of my causes is, arts, education in school that they're trying to kill. And I'm a big proponent of arts in school. And I created an award at my old junior high school called the Pearl Gen Award for Michael Perlman and Eddie Gentile.
Oh, nice.
And it awards a boy and a girl at the end of every year with, a little money and support in their future endeavors in the arts.
I see, that's amazing. And I think that's probably one of the things, just, I want to say karmically, about like why you have such success is because, you seem to me that you are just like really serious and about giving back. And I hate to just like use that blanket of giving back, but it's not just that. It's that you care, you see the importance in it, and you want to help continue along with the next generations.
Yeah, I want to do even more ultimately. So I spent most of my kids early, I'm a hands-on parent, and I really enjoy, like, being a dad is like my favorite shit in the world to do. So
my husband says that too.
Does he? Yeah, man. It's like, my kids now are, my daughter is a woman and my son's a young man, and they're an automatic pilot now.
Right.
So now I'm like, all right, let me focus now or refocus on producing more and getting more I've always been able, like, if I traveled, I was able to take my kids with me, and God bless Mike and Molly, 6 years was here in LA. So they were a part of it. So I'm just, the big part of a huge part of my career, I wasn't focused on some actors want to be stars and focus on. Like I run into people, they're like, "Oh, you're so down to earth and you're so whatever." I'm like, because it's just
like you're going in and doing your job. Basically, is kind of, you're not there to like that like not necessarily look at me.
And listen, Kahmeela, you see what goes on. These people, trying to choose my words. These people get out in the world who do what I do.
Yeah.
And listen, we're not curing any diseases. We're holding up mirrors to the world, and we're providing joy and escape, hopefully, from our everyday lives, right? We're no more special than anybody else in this world. And so some of the people who do what I do, they go out in the world and they think everybody's an extra.
Right. Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And go, treating people in the world as if they, are better than others. So I'm really grateful. I think that's why I work a lot. I'm super grateful and thankful. I'm aware that there are thousands of people who want to be doing what I'm doing. Thousands. So that always trips me out when I'm on a set and I see people just acting poorly. I'm like, understand how fortunate we are to be doing this. So I that's never lost me. Every day I wake up, it's cliche, but I approach every day as if it's kind of more boast, isn't it? Just as if it's your last day. But I do.
No, because I kind of have the same thing. Not necessarily, that this is my last day, but like when I think about, a lot of different things, and you have like your little spats with people and family and loved ones and that kind of thing, and it's like, do I choose my words very carefully with these things. Yes. It's like, do I want these words that I say to be the last words that I say to them? If God forbid something were to happen, and that's the kind of thing. That's how I have chosen to live my life as an adult.
Yes. Same. So I work a lot because I genuinely love people. I like to be around folks. I'm curious about what everybody does on these sets, and I don't know, man. It's just I'm lucky.
You are. And one of the things that I also did find,
by the way, and I'm a bad motherfucker.
Oh, Hey, keep it real. Keep it real.
I have friends who are like, "You're too humble. You're." I'm one of the baddest motherfuckers out here.
Hey, like, yes, thank you. All right, you go ahead and you just you speak that, and that's how it is. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to hear. And speaking of your bad motherfuckerness, I also saw online that you are you're very proud of your Caribbean roots.
Yes,
and as a part of that, and as a part of that, you are working on a screenplay.
Oh my God, cook food. Yeah, Hollywood. People work on projects forever. This is a project, that I'm working on. I'm subsequently working on another unscripted show right now that will facilitate, I think, the production of this movie. But yes, I did create a project called, it's a film called Cook Food. And Cook Food is a general name for West Indian food, which, is far and few between when you're in LA. For those of you in your audience who don't know, East Flatbush is a West Indian neighborhood. It's a Caribbean neighborhood, so you got everybody. You got your Jamaicans and your Trinidadians and your Bajans and your Haitians and your Dominicans and your Puerto Ricans. So that's where I grew up, with all those flavors. And so, Caribbeans haven't been highlighted that much in cinema. That much. So I wrote a project with a buddy of mine, Lance, and it's about the last West Indian restaurant trying to survive through gentrification. So the name of it is called Cook Food.
Yeah. So have you been to Antigua yet? Or
no, I haven't. My sister has. My grandfather was from. My mother was first generation here. Okay. So my grandfather, who I remember, he had a thick accent and he spoke Spanish.
Oh, wow.
He spoke Spanish with a Jamaican accent. So he'd be like, dame agua, dame leche. He'd say, bendejo,
Right, yeah. That makes for a very interesting character in itself.
yeah, exactly. So,
Yes. Okay. All right. Voice acting.
I feel like we've been all over the place. So
We have been all over the place.
Talking.
No, it's totally fine.
I don't get out much. I don't get interviewed much. I don't do many shows. I'm gonna start doing more shows.
Yes, please start doing more shows. You learned to play trumpet to portray jazz great Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
Now, dude, that is some dedication. That was.
I mean, can you see just?
Oh, nice.
Louis
that's amazing. Yes.
So the story on Louis Armstrong.
Mm-hmm.
So and then you see Brooklyn's
nice repping hard.
No doubt.
Like you, I love your representations.
Oh yeah. Do you remember this?
Is that Prince?
No, remember the Sprite commercials?
Oh,
with Thirst.
Yes.
Do you remember those?
Yes. Why do you have?
How old are you? You might be too young.
No, I'm 46.
Okay, yeah. I used to do the voice. I used to do Thirst.
Did you?
Tell my motto. Hey, LeBron. Oh yeah, look. And here's the actual doll.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. You did the voice of Thirst.
Yes. So Louis. So yeah. The coincidence about Louis Armstrong and me being emboldened is that I had been working on a live show about Louis Armstrong.
Really?
Yes. I'm passionate about Louis Armstrong. And for Bolden, one of these is just one of those things that never happen in Hollywood, which is when you get a script, you open it and you see a character that you've already been working on. So I was working on a show. Bolden is such a crazy movie because it took him so long to get it out. And he'll say he didn't, but he spent $75 million on it because he's Dan Pritzker.
Wow.
Right? Okay. He'll say he spent like 30, but first of all, he shot the movie, started shooting it in 2012.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And when did we see it? We saw it in 2000, what, 18, 19?
No, I think 19, I think is what I saw.
He shot it twice.
What?
He shot one version with Anthony Mackie.
What?
I think you're the first person that I'm telling this, I'm vocalizing this, but everybody knows it.
Wow.
He shot one version and then he decided to go a different direction. And then he shot it with Gary in it. But I'm the only takeover or holdover from the original version, all my Louis stuff.
Yeah.
So this is how the story goes. I get the script. I open up the script. The first page, I see Louis Armstrong. I send my wife. By this point, I have been working on Louis for, this is 06 probably, for 5 years.
Wow.
I had written a play. I'm playing a trumpet now. And I go into the audition. And by the way, it was a voiceover originally.
Okay.
I go to the audition. I got on a suit. I got the handkerchief. I got the horn. I signed Pops in on the call sheet. I didn't know if they casted anybody for it. That wasn't what the audition for. My audition was to play a Creole, but clearly I'm no Creole. I'm going to truncate it. The long and the short of it is they looked at me like they saw a ghost. I sang, I was talking, and they offered me in a room, do you want to be in the movie? I said, yeah, but you got to put him in the movie. He rewrote the movie. He put him in the movie. The movie finally comes out after so many different versions. I performed at Lincoln Center with Wynton Marsalis. And have you seen that yet?
I started watching it last night.
Oh, the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, the movie. Yeah. That takes a moment. But I performed at Lincoln Center with Wynton Marsalis as Louis just before the pandemic. And so my passion project, Kahmeela, is to play Louis in a standalone biopic.
Yes.
I'm out pitching a limited series right now, and people keep bringing me back to the live show. But it's just a story that needs to be told. I mean,
yeah.
I can't say enough. I'm on YouTube talking about him all the time. Without Louis Armstrong, there is no modern music. Louis Armstrong was the first pop star. Louis Armstrong in 1926 was Jay-Z.
Okay, yeah.
Louis Armstrong. Look up Louis Armstrong in the Hot Five.
Mm-hmm.
When jazz started, everybody was like hip hop, it was a fad. It's gonna be fad. Oh my God, what is this? It's never gonna last. Louis Armstrong is the cat. He's Africa Bambaataa and Jay-Z. Feel me when I tell you.
I love this.
He was getting faded and smoking and performing on stage way before Snoop. You look up Louis Armstrong, 1933 in Denmark. He's wearing a tuxedo. They had the prescience to film him. He is faded out of his mind. And it is one of the most dynamic performances you have ever seen. And that is the video that made me go, I got to play this dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So,
well, I really hope that you get a chance to do this because I'm extremely intrigued about Louis and his background and just like, you know, everything that he contributed, but also the backstory behind it.
You know, all we know is Hello Dolly. We know an older Louis Armstrong. We know, you know, he was accused of, you know, cooning,
right,
bugging his eyes out. No, and this is later in life. And that was actually the thing that hurt him the most because he loved his people so much. And he was a strong, rebellious man in those days. The Little Rock incident with the kids being bussed in the school, he was supposed to be the ambassador of music for the United States, and he called Eisenhower all kinds of names in the press, refused to travel to Russia until they protected these little black kids, and they sent the National Guard in after Louis Armstrong. Nobody spoke up except Louis, Satchmo. Even Sammy Davis at that time said, Louis doesn't speak for all of us.
Wow.
Really, Sammy?
Wow, Sam.
Who I love. You know, I love Sammy
yeah.
Davis. But Louis Armstrong.
He had a lot of questionable moments.
Louis has got a bad rap. Yeah. You know, and trying to sell this project in Hollywood, everybody's like, what's the conflict? And it's like he was born in 1901 in abject poverty in New Orleans.
Right.
He turned that into the biggest star in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're still singing his song. So, everybody bit off of him. It's a great story. And I could talk about Louis for days.
Okay, so earlier you mentioned that you were the voice of Thirst. Yeah. And so that also brings me to, you've done a lot of voiceover acting. Like you were like Transformers, like you were like 4 or 5 different Transformer voices.
And all the Transformers, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So how does that differ for you? I mean, obviously, what is the process like for you differently? Because I'm assuming sometimes you're maybe isolated in a booth by yourself, dropping your lines, as opposed to working with someone.
What I learned on Transformers, working with Michael Bay, who we got along famously, and he's notoriously a hard ass in Hollywood. We got along great. Yeah, but he's a perfectionist and I'm a perfectionist, and you get in the booth with him, and he says it's like 2 movies. There's the movies with the movie version with the humans, and then there's the movie version with the animated aspects. And so he'll show you scenes and he'll have a rough idea of like what he wants you to say. And then he'll play it and he'll just say go, and I'll just go. So like for the first one, I played Frenzy, right? Frenzy. He's the CD player. He's this guy.
So this is basically back here. What I'm looking at is Reno Wilson. This is your life, like
right. So he's this guy. That's Frenzy.
Okay.
And this turns into like, I don't want to take it apart, right? Because I don't know how to put it back together.
That's cool.
It's Frenzy. So Frenzy spoke this language. So I had to create this language, which was like that like. And then he was like, yeah. Like, say that. And I just started making all these different sounds, and we started making some sounds mean something consistently. And like, where do we get glasses? I would do that a lot. So that was the first one. And then I was this guy. And the other Transformers. It was just, Mudflap. Yes. Mudflap. He was the red car.
Were your kids really into the Transformers?
No, not really. They were like, yes, I Dad. So yeah, it was fun doing those movies. It's like a workout being in a booth with Michael Bay, like drenched in sweat.
Right. Because I mean, that's still a lot. Like you're acting hard, and they're
Yeah, it's
probably
all your
probably
body.
more
Yeah, your
so.
body, your physicality, and you're throwing yourself in all these scenes. If you're tumbling down a hill, you're doing all like all that stuff. So I've done about, including this Fatal Attraction, 25 pilots.
Wow.
I've been here 29 years.
Wow.
In Los Angeles, yeah. So that's a good ratio. And then out of those pilots, 14, this might be 15, 14 or 15 became series.
Wow.
So, it's a big, you come to LA from New York. A lot of people come to LA from wherever they're from for pilot season, right? You come, you try to get your pilot. If it gets picked up, cool. If not, you make it, chunk of change, you keep it moving. So I think this would be 14 or 15. And I've experienced pretty much most ways that you can experience a series. I've been canceled in 2 episodes, 6 episodes, 12 episodes. I was on shows that were supposed to be the next big thing. That was supposed to be a crazy hit, nothing. And then, you stumbled onto something that goes for 6 years. And even in the 6 years of Mike and Molly, we oftentimes didn't know if we were going to get picked up for the next year,
Really?
Yeah, it was all, because Les Moonves, who was the president at that time, I don't know if it was his favorite show, but people enjoyed it. And actually, Mike and Molly is doing amazingly in syndication.
Yeah, I would say so, because it's, I see it on a lot.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of people, now, especially with pandemic, and not to say that, I think it's just a lot of people who missed it the first time around.
You're exactly right.
Not catching on to it.
Yeah, and literally, it was one of that working with those people at that point in time is one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Well, it shows on screen, like all of your chemistry and whatnot. And from what I've read that, you and Billy were friends beforehand.
Yeah.
And you guys had done a couple guest spots on Las Vegas.
Correct. We did an episode of Las Vegas where we played best friends. And then we did a series together called Heist on ABC. And we played partners on that. And then I got canceled. So, and then I was the one who got the script. Legend has it. I was the one who got the script for Mike and Molly. And when I got to page 10, because whenever Billy and I were together, people were like, God, you guys need your own show. You guys need your own show. So when I got to page 10 of Mike and Molly, I put the script down and I said, holy shit. I called Billy and he was like in Cincinnati doing some stand-up. He's like, what do you want? I was like, dude, have you gotten this script called Mike and Molly? He was like, nah, I'm about to do this Nickelodeon show. I said, guy, listen to me. Get a script called Mike and Molly, right? He goes, yeah. I said, it's our show. This is what I said to him. I said, it's our show. 2 weeks later, we were in front of Chuck Lorre. I hadn't even seen him. That was the first time I spoke to him in a while. And the next time I saw him was at Chuck Lorre's office. And he had gotten down to the last group of people. And I had gotten down to the last group of people. And I said, what did I tell you?
Wow.
I go into, I said to him, let's start working on some scenes together. He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, you think they're going to call us in together? I said, yes, motherfucker, let's start working on some scenes together. We start working on some scenes together. And then I think I went in first. So they call me in to audition. And then Chuck goes, so I understand you and Billy have worked together before? And I go, yeah. So they call Billy to come in. And I can hear him walking down the hall. And then I yell, you're not here yet? I'm going to put a timer. He goes, yeah, but I could see your big head from around the corner before he even gets in the room. He comes in. We start one page. Chuck stops us. He goes, I get it. Get out of here. and then the next phase was we go to test for a network, and it's me, Billy, Melissa, Katie is there, and maybe somebody else who was going up for Katie's role, somebody else. And that was when we all first met each other, and we did individual reads. And then that was it. And I spoke to Melissa and her husband Ben today, matter of fact.
Oh, really?
the greatest group of people, the most thankful group of people I've ever worked with.
What was that like for you? Like just the experience of the last episode, like shooting the last episode
You've seen it, you've heard it. Like this is us. We've seen their last episode. I mean,
right.
Last episode of Mike and Molly was, it was all of that. It was super emotional, obviously, and exciting because what's next.
Yeah, exactly. And what ended up being the big next to me anyway, because I have not watched Mike and Molly in totality, but
sure.
Good Girls, that was my jam. That was I was on board with Good Girls from day one.
Yeah. Good Girls. I know it hit the zeitgeist.
Yeah, and I gotta say, as the seasons went along, as they progressed, like I was always team Ruby and Stan. But like after the fact, like as we just went on, it's like, you know what? I'm only rooting for Ruby and Stan right now. Like this is.
Did you finish all seasons?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was like one of the few shows that we would watch like in real time, like as it was on.
Oh yeah. I love Ruby and Stan.
Yes, like they were amazing, and it's like one of the few times. Yes, one of the few times we get to see like this positive Black strong relationship that's solid. A marriage with the husband and the mom both doing everything that they can in their power to keep their family together and healthy and happy and secure.
I loved it, and they let Retta and I shepherd that and take care of that, and nurture that the way it should be nurtured.
Good.
I always loved Black love on TV and film, but I especially loved the optics of Stan and Ruby, two dark-skinned people.
Yes,
she's a big, beautiful Black woman,
and her wearing her bonnet to bed as it is, right?
And you notice how much Stan loved him some Ruby, and the first time I met Retta. And Retta's very reserved until you get to know her. So I had never met her before. I knew who she was. She was sitting down at a table, and I came behind her. And I grabbed her from behind and kissed her on the neck.
Aww.
Which, you could call human resources after that, but she was like, "Oh, okay, this is how we do it." and that was it. We're literally like, she's my girl, man. We were in Atlanta. We shot season 1 in Atlanta, and we were in the car. Her and I fell in love with her when we were in the car, and I was playing Slick Rick, his album, and she knew every lyric of every song like I did.
Of course she did.
From wherever we left to wherever we went, we spit every lyric.
Yes, because you guys' on-screen chemistry is just amazing. So obviously, there was something there as like a really deep friendship, and I love to see it. Like that just warms my heart. Where do you think Ruby and Stan are now?
Listen, as we all know, it was cut a little prematurely.
Yes.
It was, we tried to make, when we shot that last scene, when we were wearing those orange shirts, and we started a business, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And we were singing to Apache, right? Yeah, we kind of had a feeling that could be our last scene.
Gotcha.
And we didn't know, we didn't want it to be, but we were kind of cognizant of the fact that it could be our last scene. But I think Ruby and Stan are enjoying their lives. And what were their plans? Goddamn, it's been a minute.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I thought that they moved off somewhere to start a business.
Yeah, so the bag thing didn't work out.
Right.
They were doing a thing with the bags, but Stan just wanted the two of them to whatever it was, whether it was crime, he just wanted to do it with her. Right,
and that was so beautiful, and also the fact
that's it.
And also, I'm like 100% behind Stan when he's like, basically get this stop letting this white woman tell you what to do.
Come on.
That's the point where I got to. Was like, okay, this white woman is getting away with an awful lot of stuff.
You're taking me down, you're gonna get shot again.
Right.
The other leg. Right. So Jenna Bands and Bill Krebs were so dope. They're friends to this day. The way they wrote Us and I love the way Stan got to, have it out with Beth.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed all of that. So yeah, Good Girls is a lot of fun. Matt Lillard and I are super close still.
I have always loved Matthew Lillard since the 90s,
how can you not love him?
90s teen. But yeah, and also shout out to the musical supervisors, whoever chose the music for Good Girls.
Music was dope.
Yeah, I found a lot of awesome artists from that. And from
about that one episode, they played this version of 3 is the magic number.
Yes.
That one episode, I was like, what?
It's like, where are you getting this stuff?
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely dope. And and from what I look like, I've made a Spotify playlist of all of the songs from the show. And it looks like a majority of the artists are women, which
of course.
Obviously, I'm sure that wasn't by accident.
No. I mean, again, I grew up with all women, and I'm all about my showrunners on Fatal Attraction. She's a woman, Alex Cunningham, and I'm all about it. Women need to run this world. Right. They've had a shot for a while, and now it's time.
Yes,
it's time.
I'm agreed. So how do you go about choosing your roles?
That's nice that you think I choose my role.
I know. After speaking with you for the last hour now, I'm thinking it's probably not exactly what.
No. I obviously, and that's not true. I mean, obviously, I audition for things. I get offered things as well. And actually, Good Girls I went and met the producers once, and then they offered me the role. I was just coming off of Mike and Molly, so I do get offered some things. Some things I don't get offered. I still got to work for my jobs. And honestly, I like auditioning and all that kind of stuff. Not unlike Mike and Molly and Good Girls, when I got the script for Fatal Attraction, I'm playing a detective. I don't know if you've noticed in my career.
It's a lot of shield work that you've got.
A lot of shield work. I've played a lot of, it's almost a joke within my friend group. But I read the script. I read the script. Because your question is, how can you expand Fatal Attraction into a series? How can you take that story?
How?
And they did it. And you're reading these script, and so good. So I read the script and I read the character. I was like, oh, okay, that's me. Let me go get this job real quick. And I laid it down, and they got it. I mean, sometimes you just know what is for you. And my friend Lorraine Toussaint and we always say, what is for you can't be for you.
I like that.
So I tend to gravitate towards characters who read smart, I think. Maybe not in the case of Carl McMillan, but Carl spoke fast. So smart people speak fast.
Yeah.
I gravitate towards characters who are smart and have heart, I think. I think that's what I naturally gravitate towards. And characters that have just deep layers, I think.
Well, that makes for a more interesting character on screen. And also, I mean, you got to have fun, or you have to be interested in the character yourself in order to portray it properly.
Yeah, I listen, I've been very fortunate to be able to jump between all the different genres,
Yeah, dude.
The sitcoms and the 1 hour dramas and, single camera comedies. It's hard to if you get locked, you can get locked into doing one thing, and I definitely don't want that.
Right.
I saw Whoopi Goldberg on Broadway. She was doing her show. I was 16 years old, and I was in second row center, and Whoopi Goldberg blew my mind.
I'll bet.
To see that energy in the flesh, and then I met her backstage, and she said to me, and I want to see her again. I remind her she was smoking a cigarette. Her dreads were short.
This is how we gauge around what time
I got a picture. Yeah, she had the short dreads, and she said to me, she goes, man, don't let nobody put you into a box. She goes, just be free, just be creative. Don't let anybody put you into a box. I said, okay, Whoopi, I'm gonna try and do that.
Because Whoopi said, I'm gonna do.
Yeah, Whoopi said I can't be in a box. I'm gonna do everything.
And that so you did. And that's what you're doing.
Yeah, to do all kinds of. And people are like, do you like comedy or do you like drama? I was like, I don't care. It's all the same to me.
It all spins the same. So are your
Yeah.
kids interested at all in performing?
I have crazy kids. They are out of their minds. They make me laugh all the time. My wife is funny as hell. Yeah, they're insane, all of them. My kids are very talented. My daughter, they're both. My wife and I, we're artists. My wife grew up as a dancer, and we have these crazy freak athlete kids. Both of them. I'm 6'1.5". My daughter's 6'2". My son's 6'1". He's still growing, and she's a beast on the court. You see me post about it all the time. Yeah. And my son plays classical piano. He's a crazy classical pianist. I play piano. And so both of them can act. They've all acted in school. And I've always been a big proponent of not being a professional when you're a kid and having a life.
Right.
Because if they do indeed want to pursue acting when they get older, I feel like you need to, first of all, that cuteness is hard to be a child actor and combat that cuteness when you get older.
Right. Because there's some child actors that have made the transition smoothly.
Very
Others,
rare.
It's like, wow, you really don't want to be going through puberty in public like this. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
It's rough. Yeah. It's rough.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine having been like my face on the television or whatever. Like from between the ages of like 10 and 15. Like, are you kidding me? Like
no.
That's.
And then it's a rarity where the child rearing is different at that phase. You got your little 4-year-old baby, 3-year-old baby, starts doing commercials and TV shows. Everybody's handing you stuff,
right?
Passing you. I remember being on the Cosby Show once and seeing these kids, and one kid was like telling his mother, "Look, Mom, I pay the bills." He literally said to his mother, "I pay the bills, and I want blah blah blah," is what it was. And
oh my God.
Speaking of that, I ran into Raven. In April at Retta's party, and she's just turned out to be an amazing person.
She seems like it. I saw her recently. She was on an episode of the Black Lady Sketch Show.
Oh yeah. Which I love. I want to be on that show. She and I, and she doesn't remember much of her being on the Cosby Show, which I find fascinating.
So like, she was probably like what, 5?
She was the same age as your baby. She was 3.
Oh God. Oh wow.
Think about that.
Wow.
Right. She started when she was 3.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Man.
So she blew my mind a couple of months ago, and she was like, she goes, "But when I see you, I have a feeling when I see you."
Aww.
And she goes, "Obviously I see the show, and I saw you on that." But she goes, "But when I see you, I have a feeling that we've had a connection."
Aww.
And that touched me. But I told her, I said, "I remember seeing you at 3 years old, nodding out backstage, and then they called you and you were like, pop, and went on stage and killed it."
Wow.
I also credit her to, getting rid of me on the show, because once her character came in, they stopped dealing with Theo and his college friends. What is a job after you came?
Right, yeah. Like, what is the saying? It's like, don't never work with kids and animals, because like
kids and animals,
you will be showing up immediately. Okay, so I don't want to keep you too much longer. So
I know, right? I was like, I'm gonna give Kahmeela 30 minutes.
I know, and I was expecting 30 minutes. I was like, but it seemed to be vibing all right. Cool. Yeah, thank you.
You were too damn cool.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. And I'm going to put that on my business cards. Reno Wilson. He says too damn cool. Or at least it's going on my website. So there's a portion of my podcast which I like to ask random questions. And they're not like rapid fire, so you can think about it if you need to. But are you ready for questionable conversation?
Ooh, yes.
Okay.
Always.
What album can you listen to from beginning to end?
Sign of the Times.
Oh, yes, that's a good one.
Oh yeah. This is the ballad of Dorothy Parker.
Nice. Oh, I love it. What is your favorite accent?
Oh, okay. Favorite. Damn it. Depends on the day. Well, I guess I guess my best friend Leroy's father is my favorite accent to do because, well, we can see if we can take a tomato or two and put it in a stew and see what we can make. But the next time you have to come get something to eat, maybe I'll make a little dumpling or something for you to have. But, well, the next... He's Jamaican.
I like it. Do you often just randomly just kind of slip into your Jamaican accent or
yes, and my wife
Western?
will let me know when the accent I chose does not work for her. She's like, no, that's not the one. You don't like this. What do you mean? Lay on the bed. What did I tell you? Lay on the bed. Oh.
Yeah, she's like, nope, that's not it.
No, that doesn't work.
You're gonna have to try again. What is your favorite part of the human face and why?
Favorite part of the human face? My favorite part of any
human, like the human face of any human
face. The eyes. Why, you ask?
Why?
Because the eyes are the windows of the soul.
Exactly. Do you prefer reading paper or electronic books?
Paper.
80s or 90s?
90s. R&B, baby.
Yes.
Golden age of hip hop.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Quicker than your average. Papa must go through us. Talk goes through us. Who us? Yeah, Papa and Puff.
Yes.
And then I'm a big R&B guy, so it's Jodeci, it's Groove Me, it's New Edition. When Bobby Brown left New Edition, I knew it was gonna be me. I knew.
You're like, I'll be right there, fellas. Don't you worry.
Listen, choreography, got it. Still got it. If I see those dudes today, I'll be like, yo, let's get it. Count me out.
Right. So I got this 8 count real quick. Let's go. Come on, I got this. If it isn't love.
Know it. Got
it. You never get tired of blank.
My wife.
Nice. Good answer. And that's what you always say.
I mean, but you see, there was no thought process in that. I just never. No, listen. June 6th was our 24th anniversary.
Congratulations.
26 years. We went together. We went on our first date January 28th, 1996. Literally hung for 10 days straight. And at the end of the 10 days, I got a job. I had to go to Canada, and I was like, I'm out. I'm done. I don't know what it is. I don't get tired of her.
That's a beautiful thing. And that's how you know you guys are meant to be.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I get this question. I'm throwing the question in your questions, but people always ask me, what's the secret to a long marriage? And I don't really know the answer, but I will say this. Every day I wake up, I look at her as if I don't know her. Listen, and I've known her for a long time, but we change every day. Mm-hmm. We evolve, ourselves regenerate every 7 years. Mm-hmm. And just because you know somebody, it doesn't mean you know somebody.
Right.
So I give myself the gift of looking at her brand new.
I like that.
Every day. It's a gift for me, and ultimately it's a gift for her. So therefore, what happens? The result of that is I care about what you're doing. I care about what's going on, how you're feeling, because I'm still trying to get to know you.
Right. No, I like that. To be you're actively.
Yeah. So I look at her. I don't look at her as if I know her. Yeah. This is the same old person I've been with for. I look at her new every day, and she makes it easy also. So
she just pop up with surprises for you every so often.
She.
That's funny. My husband and I were actually talking about how people change and evolve over time. Anyway, just the other day, we've been married for 11 years. Okay, which of your 5 senses would you say is your strongest?
My hearing, my ears.
Okay.
I have perfect pitch.
Oh, do you now?
I do, and I hear like a fucking dog. I can hear that's why I'm such a I don't sleep very well, because I'm a super light sleeper. That's also growing up in Brooklyn and being the only dude in the house. But I hear very acutely. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh wow.
That's a great question.
Thank you. And let's see, and if you could, here's one for you. If you had to describe yourself as a flavor, what would it be?
If I had to describe myself as I would say I'm like a spiced hot chocolate.
Okay, that's a good one.
I'm like a hot chocolate with cayenne pepper.
I like that.
Like, you know it's gonna be sweet, but when you take a sip, you're like, oh shit!
I know it's gonna be a kick back there.
Yeah. Like, you know it's gonna be sweet. You know I'm sweet,
right?
But there's a little.
It's gonna be a little fire to add to it. All right. Last two. Who is someone who encourages you?
Who encourages me in my life? Mm-hmm. My wife. And and honestly, my sisters. My sisters are responsible. My wife is a given, right? But my sisters are responsible for everything I'm doing right now. They, like, if you want to know me, know my sisters.
Right on.
You want to know my personality? My sisters are way funnier than I am. They are super talented, and they never gave me any doubt of what I could do.
Right on.
A lot of families, you grow up in a household and people are like,
right.
Even my mother used to say, you might want to get a backup. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, and my mother was a nurse and an opera singer.
Right.
But my sisters, my middle sister, the youngest out of my three is Marie, Pat, and Yolanda. Yolanda, she told me when I was 9 years old, she said, Reno, when you get an Emmy or Oscar, I don't care who you're married to, I'm coming with you. 9. And I told my wife, I told Coco, I said, listen, I got to tell you something right now. And she's like, Coco's like, got it. She's like, got it.
That's great. I mean, obviously that you all have a beautiful relationship then. Like, I love that. And
my sisters and I, we're super, super cool.
That's dope. And lastly, are you proud of yourself?
Oh, you're trying to make folks cry. I see what you're doing.
Are you being serious right now?
I am proud of myself.
Good. I'm glad, as you should be. And everyone around you, I'm sure. Let's just...
Yeah.
Because you, sir, as I said in the email, you are absolutely a saint among men, and not just for, granting this interview with me, someone you don't know from a can of paint.
Kahmeela made me cry, by the way. I just want to put that on her podcast.
But the fact of how you live your life, from what you've told me, from what I've read, from what I've seen in videos and whatnot, you, sir, you need to be commended for everything that you do and all that you are. And I say thank you for being a strong Black man who's a great role model for everyone. I
appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate you.
Oh, of course.